There's two ways you can get them. If you didn't get in,
Right.
you get a regular size envelope.
Uh-huh.
If you did get in, you get a big envelope, right? So I remember coming home. I had been, playing some basketball, rode my bicycle home, walked in, asked my mom for some Sunny D. Can I get some Sunny D? Mom, we got Kool-Aid. Nah, Sunny D. I seen that on the commercial. And she still gave me some Kool-Aid. And she was so excited and proud. She brought out this big envelope, and I had gotten into Stanford. Right?
All right.
Stanford University, here I come. Now that was like 45 minutes away from where we lived, right? So I thought, man, this is just a perfect situation. Yeah, I got into the other, University of California schools, but I got into Stanford. I can't believe it. We weren't expecting it. I was, here I was, a junior in high school, about 14. And I couldn't believe it. We got into Stanford. I said, well, you know what? I'm going to write the letter back to them right now and tell them I'm going. And my dad said, well, why don't you just wait? We're still waiting on Harvard and Yale. We're on the road.
Okay.
I said, okay, I'll wait. But I had my letter written because I was like, man, Stanford's going to be the best school I can get into. I promise. So I went back to school a couple of weeks later, came home, playing a little basketball, walked in, said, Mama, we got Sunny D today. Said, no, you got the Kool-Aid. Go ahead and sit down and drink your Kool-Aid. So I sat down at the kitchen table, and she said, Ryan, the news came in from Yale University today. I said, okay, was it a big envelope or a small one? And see, I was feeling good, and she brought out the little envelope.
Aww.
And I looked at it, and it said, well, Mr. Leslie, at age 14, we probably think you're a little premature to come to Yale. So we think that you had an excellent application, great test scores, but you should probably just finish your high school education and apply here next year. And we'd love to have you, but we think you need a little bit more social development. I said, okay, well, that's valid. That's valid. All right. Cool. And I looked at my dad. I told you I should have wrote that letter to Stanford. He said, no, it's okay. It's all right. And so I went to school probably about a week later. And I never get in trouble at school. I would never get in trouble at school. I mean, I did when I was younger because I was, interrupting people and wanted to play checkers. And remember sitting in a mathematics class, and all of a sudden over the loudspeaker, Ryan Leslie, can you come to the principal's office, please? So you know how it is in high school, like, yeah, exactly, have one of those. But when you're actually the person who's getting oohed, it seems much longer, so you just have everything's moving in slow motion, and you're walking out the door and everybody, Man, the longest walk out of a mathematics class I can remember. And I walked down the hallway and went to the principal's office, and man, I got so nervous because I saw my mother and father there, and I saw the guidance counselor there, and I saw the principal out, and I saw somebody there with a camera, and I said, man, there's no way this could be good. But my parents were so proud. They couldn't contain their excitement because there was the envelope from Harvard University, the big envelope from Harvard University, and they were like, man, this is the first student from Bear Creek High School that ever got into Harvard University, and he's a minority.
All right, boo.
So I was feeling good, and also, mind you, I had taken this story that I had told my father about me wanting to be a brain surgeon, and I had taken it on the road. Because I said, we need to make some money to get into Harvard. I'm taking this show on the road. So I entered into a bunch of speech competitions with the Rotary Club. And I would go from city to city, and I would give my speech about how I wanted to be a brain surgeon. Everyone said, oh my goodness, this is so amazing. We got a young African-American. He's doing right. He's respectful of his parents, and he wants to be a brain surgeon. We are going to contribute to his education. And we made enough money for me to get into Harvard. I also got a scholarship from Harvard, about 75%. We raised the other 25%.
All right.
But I got to school. Well, we have to talk a little bit about the decision to go all the way across the country to Harvard, right? Because my mother, being a mother, said, man, my son is so young. Stanford is, man, it's just number 2. It's just as good as Harvard, but it's only 45 minutes away. I'll be able to see him on the weekends. And Ryan, I'll get you some Sunny D. And I love my mother, and I thought long and hard about it. And to me, in my heart, I was leaning towards Stanford. And my father took me in his study, and he had one of those man-to-man conversations. And he said, look, son, I want you to grow up. And if you go to school 45 minutes away from here, your mom is going to make sure that you're home every weekend. But we don't have a lot of money, so if we send you to school all the way across the country, then you have an excuse why you can't come home. But once a year. And so I said, Dad, is that what you think I should do? He said, yeah, I think you need to grow up, you need to be a man, and you'll be more independent if you're far away. So they packed me up, they flew to Harvard with me, and I remember getting to school and falling in love with the idea of being a musician. Man. And they, I was so afraid to tell my parents at this point, though, because we raised all this money for me to be a brain surgeon, and I went to pre-med classes, and I was in my chemistry classes and biology classes and physiology classes and mathematics classes and laboratories and frogs and rats and...
Ew, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I realized that there were a lot of other students that were really passionate about it. And I learned very early on, and I'm thankful that I learned this lesson, that when you're passionate about something, you don't need to get convinced to do it. When you're passionate about something, when you love something, the best is demanded of you, not by your parents or by your teachers, but it's demanded of you because it's right here in your heart to be the best you can be when you're passionate about something. So I remember there was this group called Blackstreet. Teddy Riley had this group called Blackstreet.
Oh yeah.
And
that was big.
That was what was going on all over campus, the new Blackstreet album. And there was a song on there called Love Anita, Love Today. And I had grown up in such a sheltered, academic-focused environment that we never used to be able to listen to the radio. And I didn't know that was a Stevie Wonder song. And I would run around campus and say, man, Teddy Riley is a genius, man. You heard the song he wrote about Love Anita, Love Today, and people looking at me like I was from another planet. And somebody came and sat me down and said, look, Ryan, before you continue to embarrass yourself, that's a Stevie Wonder song. And so I began to take advantage of all that Harvard had to offer, not strictly from a pre-medical standpoint, but from the idea and from the standpoint that it was a repository of knowledge. And I went into the Widener Library and I checked out every book they had on Stevie Wonder. And I learned that he put out his first album when he was 11 or 12 years old. So I called my father and said, hey, Dad, I'm running a little behind because I'm already 15 and I haven't put my first album out. And he said, Ryan, what are you talking about? What are they doing to you up there? What did they put in the food up there? I said, no, I'm behind, I found